Complex structure and function of ecosystem during equilibrium. An ecosystem is a community of living organisms, plants, animals, and microbes existing in conjunction with non-living components of their environment, such as air, water, and mineral soil interacting as a system. These biotic and abiotic components are linked together through nutrient cycles and energy flows. As ecosystems are defined by the network of interactions among organisms or between organisms and their environment, they can be of any size but usually encompass specific, limited spaces. Ecosystem can be both resistant and resilient to ecosystem disturbances. Ecosystems are dynamic entities controlled both by external and internal factors. External factors such as climate and parent material that forms the soil control the overall structure of an ecosystem and the way things work within it, but are not themselves influenced by the ecosystem. While the resources inputs are generally controlled by external processes, the availability of these resources within the ecosystem is controlled by internal factors such as decomposition, root competition, or shading. Other internal factors include disturbance, succession, and the types of species present. From one year to another, ecosystems experience variation in their biotic and abiotic environments. A drought, an especially cold winter, and a pest outbreak all constitute short-term variability in environmental conditions. Animal populations vary from year to year, building up during resource-rich period, but crashing as the food supply becomes scarce. Ecosystem dynamics can affect human populations. The Four Corners area had been in drought for several years, for example. In early 1993, the rainfall caused an increase in vegetation, which caused an increase the local deer mice population. Hantavirus infected the high deer mouse population and was quickly transmitted to humans via aerosolized mouse droppings. Equilibrium is the steady state of an ecosystem where all organisms are in balance with their environment and with each other. In equilibrium, any changes to system will be balanced by negative feedback, allowing the system to return to its original state. Human disturbances to ecosystem can overwhelm the ecosystem resilience, crippling its ability to return to equilibrium. So we will discuss about resilience and resistance. Resistance and ability of the ecosystem to remain at equilibrium despite of the disturbances or resist disturbances to the ecosystem's dynamic. In ecology, this resilience is the speed at which an ecosystem recovers to equilibrium after being disturbed. These two parameters are used to measure changes in the ecosystems. Humans may impact the nature of an ecosystem to to such a degree that the ecosystem can lose its resilience entirely. In these cases, external human influences can lead to the complete destruction or irreversible, rather, altering of the ecosystem equilibrium. For example, in the figure, human intervention in the ecosystem equilibrium. The Australian Aboriginal practice of fire stick farming has fundamentally modified Australian ecosystem. The legacy of this practice over long periods has resulted in the forest being converted to grassland. In this example, the forest became less and less resilient over time until the fundamental system equilibrium has changed. Ecological balance. A state of dynamic equilibrium within a community of organisms in which genetic, species, and ecosystem diversity remains stable subject to the gradual changes through natural selection. Ecological balance ensures the stability of the organisms and environment. Human being plays a key role to maintain ecological balance because they have the highest thinking capacity as compared to other living organisms. Sufficient food availability to all living organisms and their stability reflect the existence of the ecological balance. Therefore, this balance is very important because it ensures survival, existence, and stability of the environment. Ecological imbalance. Ecological imbalance is when a natural or human-caused disturbances disrupt the natural balance of an ecosystem. A disturbance is a change that causes a disruption in the balance of an ecosystem. Examples of natural disturbances are volcanic eruptions, floods, natural fires. Examples of human-caused disturbances are introduction of new species, logging of forest, pollution, and overhunting of species. Environmental issues related to ecological imbalance, global problems. These problems that affect different nations and can only be resolved through solidarity of affected nations. Some global problems are global warming or greenhouse effect, acid rain, pollution, which is air and marine pollution, depletion of ozone layer in the atmosphere, and radioactive fallout because of nuclear war. National problems. These are problems that affect the country and can only be resolved within the country. These national environmental issues are pollution, degradation of natural resources such as soil erosion, deforestation, depletion of wildlife, shortage of energy, degradation of marine ecosystem, and depletion of natural resources. And the last one is the alteration and inconsistent land use, like the conservation of agricultural land into industrial states, conversions of mangrove swamps into fish ponds, and salt beds.